Hello my mermaids and manga boys, my name is SpongeDrew and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be comparing 3 different variations of SpongeBob figures and buildable sets, which are Lego, Snap and Switch, or really what we known as Mega Blocks, and the new variation, which is the Miniso set line. And I do apologize if you hear like lawn mowing sounds. That's just like the neighbors next door. I can't do anything about it. I just want to do a video. So if you hear lawn mowing noises, just like giving you a heads up. But that is not what we're gonna be focused on today. We're gonna be focusing and comparing each 3 of these like all together. Now, if you've been around my channel for a very long time, you'll know that I did something similar like this with the Lego figures and the MegaBloxs or Snap and Switch sets. Originally, these kind of figures were introduced to MegaBloxs when the second SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, came out, and they introduced a new version of like SpongeBob as kind of like a somewhat modified Lego buildable figure. And then for this new year, we have been introduced to Miniso, or Miniso, or I probably can remember spelling. It's like M-I-N-S-O, Miniso, or something like that. You guys can let me know in the comments below. Which like the 3 figures like right here. Of course, it's SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. Now I know in the past I reviewed of course Gary, Gary, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, and Plankton, but as of right now I don't have those figures. I know there are Mr. Krabs figures, but I just don't have them as of right now when I'm making this video. But with all being said, let's compare like all 3. We're gonna start off with SpongeBob because why not? So we could line them up right here. There we go. Of course, we're going to start off with the most iconic one yet, which is the Lego figure, as we know from the Lego set line. Now you can see like full 360, plain yellow, like torso with yellow arms and brown pants. Of course, this exclusive SpongeBob piece, which you could stick like a metal like bars through them and put like bricks on top of him. See, we have a face right here. I do apologize if it's a little off-centered. I found this one when I was at like a Comic-Con, convention. So, I just saw it and, don't have this particular one with this classic face on it, so I just had to get it myself. See, we've seen this face in the older SpongeBob Lego set lines, and then they came back, I think, in 2012, I think, which, was the last time we've ever seen a SpongeBob Lego set. But yeah, so this is the classic SpongeBob figure here. Of course, it's got articulation. You can move the hands, you can move the arms. No articulation in the feet, but I know in the new Lego sets you can now move the shorter feet, which is amazing. Don't know if they come in like brown yet. I just haven't been up with Lego at least recently, but yeah, that is the SpongeBob figure right here. And in 2000 and I think 14, I think when the SpongeBob War came out, we were introduced MegaBloxs, but this is our new variation right here, which is Snap and Switch, which I think has been introduced. It's either 2022 or last year, or can't recall, but you guys can let me know in the comments below. This is our other new figure right here, full 360. You can see comparison with the 2. This one, Snap and Switch is a lot more bigger, while Legos is a lot more smaller. See, with this one, it has ball joints. Let me again focus right here. Ball joints. Turn the wrist however you want. And with these figures with the SpongeBob, you can take the eyes out, and each different set comes with a different set of eyes. When MegaBloxs introduced their own version of SpongeBob, You can switch out the heads, the eyes, and you know, like the clothes and whatnot. You can see a printing of SpongeBob's clothes, you know, around the back. Unfortunately, these are all like separate pieces. You can see, take this apart. See right here, and the feet don't move. They just kind of like swivel back and forth, kind of like that. But yeah, I like these a lot more because, you know, they're a lot more, you know, intricate, you know, with the smile, and plus the nose and the eyes look, you know, like 3D and all that. Plus the addition with his, you know, his pores all over his body. And you can, you know, put bars or stuff like here and on the back of his head. So that is snap-and-switches, or most commonly MegaBloxs figure. But now we're going to move on to this year's new edition of Miniso's figurines, which by comparison is twice the size of snap-and-switches. You can see the nose is longer, and he is a lot more taller, and you know, he has a lot more, you know, like legs showing through, and he actually has like kind of like white socks, unlike this one in Legos. So this one, just very similar. You can zoom in right here. You can take the eyes out and switch them however you want. I did review these when I got, you know, like the Miniso sets, so you can check that video out in my channel, or I'll put in the annotation in the top right corner, or maybe at the end of the video, depending on how I'm editing this. Unlike the this one right here, this one has a stud on the top so you can place sprig. It doesn't have a way you can put like stuff through it, like it's a hole, but you know, that doesn't really bother me. You know, like arms are on ball joints, you can swivel the arms, and you can only swivel the legs, and the pants are just by themselves, just one piece. Same thing with the legs, and it connects by two pieces that connect just like so. And this is the only one I have. I do have another one, but it's just like, you know, like a duplicate one from another set. So yeah, that is the SpongeBob kind of like figures right here. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I really like Miniso's, you know, figure a lot, but you know, like these two are always, you know, like nostalgic to me, especially with the Lego figures, because I play with them a lot. Personally, I like how bulky they are, and you know, like, see the comparison of my fingers, they are pretty big, while these two are quite small. But that is the SpongeBob figures. Now let's move on to the big man, Patrick Star. So we can see the comparison right here. We got Legos, snap-and-switch, MegaBloxs, and Miniso's. Let's take a look at, you know, like Lego's variation of Patrick Star. So you can see right here, rather than having him, you know, the pink skin color that we know very well, he has the light, kind of like a human flesh-colored skin. I don't know why they went for that alteration for Patrick, but personally, it doesn't bug me at all. Honestly, it looks pretty okay. Again, I just wish they did pink, or maybe by the time they were making, you know, like the Patrick figure, pink was a hard color to, you know, make or come by. So this was their alternate solution. Of course, he's got the printing of his legs, his shorts right here. This, you know, exclusive Patrick head mold. Swivel all the way around. His torso and head do come in different, you know, like variations and faces for his head, which I do have, but I just didn't have the time to get them because I just wanted to get the video done. Of course, arms can move up and down, his wrist can swivel, and his legs move, and so can his head. So yeah, that is Patrick figurine, very classic and nostalgic to me. But let's introduce the snap-and-switch figure right here. Let's go close up of him. So when MegaBloxs, you know, introduced this in the first place, I was honestly very surprised how well they managed to pull Patrick off with a big belly, you know, like the perfectly, you know, dominant, you know, head. His head is quite large, but honestly, you know, like, that's pretty okay. And this can actually come off, and you could put stuff on his head, and this is, you know, like his top of his head, so you can actually make it look like that. Well, the classic way, that looks like that. Got the classic smile on him, his belly button, his shorts. You know, these are, of course, separate parts right here. You can see ball joints, wrist can move and all that. His head can spin. You know, like it's just, you know, like every other MegaBloxs or snap and switch figure. Personally, I like this one. When Snap and Switch and first this figure, this came in the kind of like a I think the bus stop set, which I actually made a video and build and review on, so you can check that video out. One of my most popular videos I've ever posted on this channel, so you can see it for yourself. And here is Miniso's variation of Patrick. So very similar to Snap and Switch right here, except, you know, like he is much larger, his belly is bigger, you know, like got a lot more expression in his face, of course. Very similar how he's built. These legs don't come off, but you know, of course, he comes in 2 pieces. His arms are longer, they're on ball joints. His arms his wrist can move, his head can turn, and of course, I have 2 different faces of his face. You can check that video out. And this is like on a stud, so you could like put stuff right here. You can kind of like put like axles and stuff right here, but like, you know, it's up to you really. But that is the Patrick Star figure. Personally, again, I honestly like the Snap and Switch one. The Miniso one, you know, like is good, but you know, like he is, you know, like quite, you know, chunky, because, you know, like big, you know, like plastic pieces to make this. Personally, I like this one a lot. You know, I like these 2 as well. But again, nothing never beats the classic Lego one, because Lego was the first to introduce these kind of like figures right here. But that is it for Patrick Star. And last but not least is the grumpy old man of the show, Squidward. Tentacles. See comparison right here. We got Lego, Snap and Switch, and Miniso's. So try to put them all in frame right here. There we go. The grouchy man of the show. So let's look at not MegaBloxs, is Lego's variation of Squidward. See a full 360 right here. See the custom printing for, you know, a shirt right here. This head was actually introduced, this molding of his head was actually introduced in the new set line for SpongeBob back in 2000. Was it 2012 or 2010? I can't exactly remember. I think it was 2012. You know, like in the older sets, it was just a normal minifigure head with his face, but he was smiling for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that was just their alternate solution. But you know, like this is a custom headpiece with his nose and his mouth with a, you know, very blank normal expression. But yeah, arms can move, down, legs, and whatnot. That's just Lego's version of Squidward. Now to move on to Snap and Switch's / MegaBloxs figure. See right here, full 360. You can put stuff in the back. Honestly, I like this one a lot better because, you know, like with his legs and everything, it's a lot more accurate to the show, and they can move. They got, you know, 2 studs on the bottom, so you can like place them on like Lego pieces and whatnot. His arms can, you know, are on ball joints. Wrist can move, head can spin, yada yada. And he actually has, you know, like his little like spots on his head, unlike this one, which has his eye, kind of like, you know, like wrinkles in his head. But you know, like this one doesn't, but that doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, not a lot to say for, you know, like this version and or the next one, but you know, like it's their variation. But here with this one, this Miniso's actually has some height. Now these are stickers, and they do like to like fall out a lot, so you kind of have to like press them together and make sure they stick. But you can see by comparison, this one is a lot more taller. And oh, that happened. I didn't even know that could. That's supposed to be a thing. And actually, know that for sure. Oh well. But yeah, this is a Miniso's version. You know, his head can spin. He's got like, you know, quite a facial expression right here. He's got like a stud on top so he can put stuff. Arms can move and, you know, swivel. All three of his, you know, feet have, you know, like holes so you can place them on stuff, but it's a little hard to do, so you might have to get like jumper plates or something to be able to stay on and whatnot. And I just make it look like that. So yeah, that is Miniso's version of Squidward. I personally like this one a lot because it's a lot more, you know, accurate to the show. But anyways, yeah, that is really it for today's video. I know it wasn't, you know, too exciting, just me going over the each of the figures by themselves, but you can obviously see for comparison, Lego started off with their own variation. The MegaBloxs and our snap-and-switch came along, kind of like improved, and Miniso kind of took the idea but just made them bigger and bulkier and a lot more expressive. So yeah, let me get a drink of water real quick. So yeah, personally, I like three all by themselves. They have their pros and cons, you know, like with Patrick right here, he has the flesh colored. You know, like with the only thing that really kind of like upsets me, especially with the SpongeBob figures, especially with these two, is that only the printing is on the front. Well, actually, the printing for Miniso's goes all the way around, but not his belt. While, you know, snap-and-switch is just as the front, not even the sides or the back, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But you know, like, it's just, it is how it is. So yeah, that is really it for today's video. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you really like most? Do you like Legos, snap-and-switches, or Miniso's? Excuse me. Personally, I really like this variation of the three by themselves because, you know, they're bigger, they're bulkier, and they're a lot more fun to play around. While these two, you know, are small and can be easily to lose if you're messing around with them a lot. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like these where, you know, kind of compare figures from each, you know, their different, you know, like set lines or different companies or whatnot, then let me know. And again, if you like what you saw here in this video, then be sure to subscribe to my channel today. Click that bell notification so you'll stay notified when I make new videos. Like the video, comment what you think of it, which one of these is your favorite, whatnot. Share these with your friends, family, or people who love Lego or love buildable sets or whatnot. And with that being said, I will see all of you in my next video. Bye bye.